Oh, I am good. Thank you for the introduction. I am busy. I'm working away on this game. It's been a ton of fun. It's incredible to see the growth from where we were in April to now, and I'm just excited to share it with all of you guys. So looking forward to the show.
Dude, my sound was off on the intro. Are you kidding me? My sound was off? Wow. Alright. You know the intro. Peace, beloved, peace. It's your homie Young Content. So we'll skip that. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy to have Influence in the building. Really underrated space MMORPG that I think is going to take off. But let me get to the gurus because I can't be rude. I miss these guys. I haven't seen them in like, what, a whole week? That's too long. Walshy, how you doing, bro? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Kind of, it's been a pretty hectic week, so definitely feeling that. A little bit tired, but overall doing really good, man. Lots of good stuff happening in the space. It's an exciting time to be here for sure.
Aren't you gonna buy a yacht? I heard soon. It's called the SS Walshy. That's like coming up, right?
I'm a long ways from buying a yacht, but hopefully I'll be able to feel a little bit more financially free in the coming months.
That's what's up, dude. I'm so happy to have you back. DeadStock, welcome back. I know you have, you're the everyman's hero. So how you doing, hero?
Just appreciate it, man. Happy to be back with the fam, and I'm just choosing the color of my yacht, and I'll let you guys know what it looks like when I pick it out.
You been good?
Man, everything is a blessing. I'm just, staying content, eating ice cream, living the dream.
Okay, you reversed that. I see what you did there. I see that. That's nice. What's going on, Councilman? What's going on, Big Dog? How you doing, Jeremy? How was your weekend? How you doing? Thanks for being loaded up in the NFT Guru Talking Show 27.
27, man. It's crazy how quickly time flies here. I had a good week, man. I had an awesome Twitter Spaces last night. Had some good work done this week. And, I was just saying before the show that my second show ever with you, Young, was with JP. So this is like a full circle moment. It's great to have him back on and to, like, get an update on where Influence is at. And hopefully, educate some people who haven't heard about this incredible game yet. So happy to be here, dude.
Funny note is that show was on 420. I looked it up. 420, April 20th. That's when that show happened, and it's crazy.
Bless up to all my 420 people out there. Wink, wink. Yeet.
Give me that pass of the reefer, though.
Depending on your location.
I don't smoke, guys. I might look like Cheech, but I don't smoke. I think Walshy does all the smoking for all of us in the building. But JP, dude, is super happy to have you. It's been April, May. It's been a long time. I'm not even gonna do the count, but you've been working. You and Darko's Nightmare. Got to give him credit. The lead dev of Influence. Give people who are laymen who don't know what Influence is, why they should keep this space MMO on their radar.
Yeah. Okay. So we all know about Axie Infinity. They're a play-to-earn game, and they're blowing up. So congrats to them. They're showing the way. But there's a lot more games coming, and Influence is one of them. We're a play-to-earn space strategy MMO, and basically, the world consists of 250,000 asteroids, which are in-game land. It is a finite universe. Yes, 250,000 sounds like a lot, but it really isn't when you think about a game. Axie has over 1 million players, things like that. So you're going to be able to build infrastructure, mine your asteroids, build ships, and visit other asteroids to participate in marketplaces. And then in the future releases, we'll introduce technology like skill talent trees, things like that. And then eventually, we have slated conflict. Conflict is the PvP release. You're going to be able to blow people's ships up and have a ton of fun. And we're just cranking away. It's awesome. I think one thing to really drive home the point is that this is a real game. It's a real immersive experience. It's not just not to hate on any other of the other games in the place, but there's games in the play to earn space that are DeFi first, game second. We're game first, and DeFi is the economy layer within the game. But that's how players are going to be interacting with the economy versus the only thing they do.
That's awesome. I know from the time that you started, how much work did you progress from those 4 months? And honestly, you don't have to give me everything, but what was like the highlights, like the 2 highlights that you were like, man, that really challenged us. We pulled through, and now we're here.
So you're talking about like after this last sale, what has been done, and like what are the highlights?
Yeah.
Oh God, there's been so much work. So something here. I'll lay out. I'm the UX designer for Influence, meaning I'm in charge of user experience and the interface of the game, making sure that it's usable, fun, and engaging, along with head of community. So I'm driving the community in Discord and Reddit and Twitter and all the other places, getting people excited, educating them, and everything. So what has happened since then? Well, we have an entire wiki page for our game. So wiki.influenceth.io. If you want to learn about the game, there's like incredible wealth of information there that we put together since this last sale. We're building out the game UI. So now this next release it's not going to be a fully playable release, but you're going to be able to do quite a bit in the actual game that you hadn't been able to do last time. And then the most exciting part, which I know all of these NFT lurkers here are, they're going to love. It's our crew member release. They're going to be your in-game characters, but they're also going to be, kind of presented in the form of cards that you'll be able to visualize on OpenSea and then slot them into your game. So the coolest thing about this is that this release follows a storyline. Influence is based around the Earth basically dying and humanity having to leave Earth. And this one ship called the Arvad, headed for a hopeful sustainable planet, gets veered off course, something malfunctions, and now they aren't able to make it with all the other ships. So they have to search the sky, the cosmos, and they find the Star of Adalia. And around the Star of Adalia is 250,000 asteroids. So these 11,100 passengers take the 150-year journey. So the people who arrive to these asteroids aren't even the same people who left. And when you arrive in Adalia, this next release we're calling Populate the Belt. And those 11,100 citizens and specialists on board are going to drop down on Adalia Prime, the largest asteroid, and start to be able to, colonize the belt. And so each one of these specialists or citizens will have a unique NFT that is generative, and they look badass. If you haven't seen some, please join our Discord and take a look.
Yeah, they have a very Borderlands, real like iconic like look to that, which I really like that that style. You didn't go like too realistic. You could have done that. Before you get into that, because you mentioned 11,900 something.
11,100, yeah.
Yeah, so I know I'm a part of that 11,000. I don't know if you are, Jeremy, or you DeadStock or Walsh, but I know I got in that asteroid cell in the beginning. I want to ask, what can I expect? But before I do that, and I want to let you finish your point, I need to get to the chat. They said, Twin Line, my man, here to learn about NFTs. I'm novice as it gets. Dude, we all start somewhere. Don't despise humble beginnings. You're here now. We got 15 viewers. Let's go. Tigbo, gang. Shout out to Guatemala. That's my brother. George Beal, let's go. What the F? He's a parallel Lord. Sup? What up, homie? Matt Bitch sounds familiar. What's up, fam? Okay, cool. And then hello, Sensei. What's up, OptiArt? Love you, bro. So 11,000. They are populating the belt. Why did you choose that number to populate the belt?
So it's I could go into quite a bit of detail, but the basis is that it's actually like how many people would be able to fit on a ship of this size. And this game is based around realism. So a lot of this game has, Darkos Nightmare spent a lot of time doing his research and calculating, like, what do these numbers look like? What does an asteroid belt of 250,000 asteroids, compose of? And so that 11,100 number is about what would be sustainable on that ship size. And that's why we chose it. It's not a random number. It's not a 10,000, PFP project or anything like that. But it has, scarcity and rarity built into these NFTs. And they're all going to have a story to tell. And I want, if I can go into a little bit more detail about these, I would love to share why we're so excited about these crew members, and tell everyone, who doesn't know about the game, why you guys should be excited.
Go into that story. Review rates are going up, but someone said this sounds familiar. Guys, Influence has kind of been doing this from the beginning. This is not something that they just started yesterday. This has been in the works since March, February, even probably earlier, like pre-development. But you're excited about these stories. Give us a story you're excited about. I want to get excited. I know Jeremy does. He's a fucking roid holder,
okay.
And so is that.
Let me relate it to the NFT community. Right now, you can find some really, really beautiful art. PFP projects, 10,000, avatar type things. And they're awesome. I think the NFT space evolved a lot from seeing what was possible in that side. And now that it's progressed, people are starting to ask, okay, but what about the utility? What can these things do? We're a game. And so we thought about very long and hard, how do we implement utility into the game for characters? And so every good space movie has their crew. You think about Han Solo, Chewbacca, all those guys. Think about any of the other films you've seen, you could probably name their crew. And so in Influence, you can have a crew of up to 5 of these slotted into your game at once. And together they compose a crew, and they each have a class. You can have miner, pilot, engineer,
scientist, merchant. I got you, bro.
Oh shit!
Merchant, exactly.
Oh shit! DeadStock. I see you, boy.
So if you think about that, when you're playing this game, you're going to have like this unique composition of classes, and you could have all pilots or all miners or merchants and miners and things like that, and it's just super fun. But it's not like this is the NFT space, so we have to make sure that people can interact with them like in OpenSea as well. And so we partnered. We hired one of my good childhood friends. His name's Scott Gessler. He's worked on films. Right now, I think he just finished up working for a Warner Brothers film called Shazam 2. He's worked on Lucasfilms type.
He wasn't in catering, right? Because you better not tell me he was in catering.
No. But he's an incredible artist, and we had him develop all the pieces. So when you buy an asteroid in this next sale, you're going to be able to mint a crew member along with that. So you're only paying for the asteroid. You get the asteroid, which is in-game land, and then you have the ability to mint a crew member from that. And so anyone who purchased an asteroid in our last sale will automatically get one they can mint. So this is pretty cool.
Dang, I'm getting one?
Bro,
Yeah, man.
that's so exciting.
Fuck yeah, I love
that.
That's like an airdrop. Thank God.
Yeah, and so
that's a great utility, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's part of colonizing the belt. You own this asteroid. Well, how do you own it?
Yeah.
Well, there's someone on there who colonized it. So that's kind of the way it goes. But what do these look like? Well, they've got headpieces, they've got hairstyles, they've got facial hair, piercings, different outfits, some drones, glow, energy, like all kinds of cool stuff. And that's all generative. And so each one has a separate rarity. They're going to be really special, and some of them are going to look like really crazy cool. But I also love from the video game aspect, like I played World of Warcraft forever. And when you go into a dungeon and you get this gear, it may look ridiculous when you're wearing it, but you're like, it's the best gear, so I'm going to put it on. And so you see these people walking around looking like, wow, you look hilarious. But like, that's the best gear. And so these generative pieces are going to sometimes like look kind of funny, but you're going to be like, well, I'm I'm a scientist and I'm the reactor engineer, and I look like this because I'm the best, and you're gonna have all kind of gradations of looks. And so yeah, I
Jeremy,
think
do you have a question on your tip of your tongue?
I kind like not a question, but like if you think about like the story though, right? It makes sense that all these people are looking like absolutely crazy because they're not from Earth and they spent their life in space. So like what is their sense of fashion? Like this would probably just seem normal to them, you know what I mean? Like they're like, yeah, no, that's cool, that's normal, whatever. So like it almost kind of fits back into the storyline in a certain sense, like these complete space cowboys like in the wild, wild west, you know? So of course they're going to be like super cyberpunk and just looking absolutely ridiculous because they have no base of reality because they're so far removed away from their homeworld. You know what I mean? Like
To, to,
on the lore, like
to
it just
stay
makes
to
sense.
stay on that, JP, you mind if I ask Jeremy? Jeremy, how did you hear about influence for the? Because I think you put me on or something. Something happened there.
You know, I don't remember how I first heard of you
Was
guys
that
to
through
be
Delphi
complete.
or something? No.
I think back when I was an intern at Delphi, yeah, I think I was just like doing a bunch of different research, and I just like I just stumbled upon you guys, and me and a colleague Aaron got like super like into it, and we're like, this is the coolest thing ever. And but I don't remember like what the first touch point was though, to be completely honest.
It's kind of like you
Once
guys
again,
came out
that
of
was
nowhere somewhere. I don't know. I don't even know how you hit me
seriously
up.
though.
yeah,
You
I
know, it might have been,
honestly,
it could have even been through like Parallel or something like that, or
Yeah,
maybe I heard
I
from
think it was
Parallel through
Parallel.
you
Yeah, it was
guys.
Parallel's Discord. You came in a clubhouse, and then you started talking about with your vision. I think Chad Hurley was in the building as well at that time. And then I was like, dude, I gotta follow this. Got some early alpha, and then I think that's when it was like that was history. And then Goldie put me on. So shout out Goldie.
Mm.
yeah, I don't. It's funny because like we always like everyone in NFT jokes like, oh, how long ago was that? And you're like, oh, it was only a week ago. And so like thinking back more than 3 months now, I'm like,
Oh
I
my
don't know. I was
God.
like a child back then. I don't like.
Seriously though, dude. I have so many more gray hairs since then.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
ha,
So
ha,
that's kind of the rundown.
yeah. So I wanted to ask you too. What have you seen in the asteroid sales? The market. People who are. I know you guys are making some cool numbers and cool gains, but what have you seen in the data there with your last sale and what you're expecting on this one?
Yeah. So, okay. I really like looking at this because like we don't really facilitate the secondary market, just like parallels. They kind of like they stay away from it and whatever happens, happens. Um, but during the first sale, we sold 1,861 asteroids, and that equated to about 500 and I think $75,000 USD. And so that was our first sale, and that was with probably like 5 weeks of marketing push and like
Wow.
getting it out there. It was mostly behind the scenes, just getting the game ready. And then, so these last 3 months, we've seen just shy of 100 Ether traded on secondary, with some of the largest sale actually taking place today. Today, 12 Ether for a set of asteroids. The deal was made. I had no part in that. I came into the Discord and saw that it happened, and I was like, oh wow, okay. So things are heating up. I think the number of addresses also matters. Like how many people participated in that last sale, because this is a game. We need players. So with 5 weeks of just kind of like putting out our feelers, getting the Discord together, we had about 500 wallet addresses or so come into the game. That's actual purchasers. And now I think that number has stayed just about the same, with a lot of trading back and forth between current holders and then some people who are playing more the secondary, trying to flip things, to going to people who are now really interested in the game. And so what that's a good sign of is that we haven't seen a lot of people just try and offload their asteroids, meaning people believe in the project. And so going into this next release sale cycle, we're going to probably see a lot of the participants who participated last time participate again, along with our community went from just shy of 1,000 members in Discord to now we're at like 2,500. Our Twitter, I think, was like 200 at our last sale, and now we're at like almost 2K. And obviously these numbers may not sound like much, but we're a game first, and we really do our job to educate people. And so this isn't like a hype project. We're not getting a lot of people in our Discord being like, just throwing up big flashy things, gold glitter, whatever, and being like hype, 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 and try and flip their stuff. These are people that are getting really excited. We have some of the YGG community members, starting to come in and sweep the floor.
That's a good sign. Holy shit.
Of asteroids. And so we have some very interested parties that are looking into possibly participating in this next phase to really solidify what people are starting to understand as scholar programs. Because in our game, when you own an asteroid, there's a set amount of plots and you can lease those out to people. And so people who don't have the money to participate in a game, although this is free to play, you can play, free of charge, other than, a little bit of ETH in your wallet to do gas transactions once layer 2 is implemented. The scholarship type of deal is going to work really well. And the reason being is that you have a community and an asteroid. So you can be like a hub, a corporation, an alliance with a goal, and you can work together to further that goal and further your influence within the the asteroid belt of Adalia.
I think the something you said there, JP, is super important. And it's in fostering a healthy base community, and that's super important for the longevity of a project, because like those 500 people are going to become like your 500 stewards of influence, and those are going to become like the people that like really spread the word and like really help maintain like a good ecosystem for like influence to really like grow out of. It's real grassroots, and like that is so important for a project to really lay a foundation, because what could have happened is like during the asteroid belt, like you could have done crazy numbers and like had 20,000 people flood in, and then like that's just too much chaos, like what do you do with that, so
we weren't ready for it.
That's what I mean. But like now, like with laying that foundation, like now you're much more prepared and that sort of thing. And I think that's something that's super overrated in building out healthy communities. It's like you have to have a good foundation, which is what you guys have done.
Yeah, thank you. And I think a point to add to that is, what we've seen. So in numbers wise, and again, influence does not endorse any secondary. Like people own the NFTs, they can do whatever they want. The base price of an asteroid was like 0.03 ether in this last sale. And the floor on secondary right now, I think is like 0.12. So like that's a pretty big increase in terms of just the very base. But if you look at the rarity of asteroids, so like there's a gradation of rarity from common to incomparable. Those incomparables, we had 2 of them sell for 13.5 ether on secondary. And so what we're seeing is people starting to understand the game more and realizing what this adds to their game ability, the utility of having an incomparable rarity asteroid, and people really valuing that and wanting to participate in this game. And so it's just a really, really awesome thing to see people hold such a high regard for that, and it not just be a flipping mechanism. Now, is our game immune to flipping? No, I assume in this next release, because we only have 9,241 asteroids that will be available out of 250,000. And once those are over, it's contained. We're not going to sell anymore for quite a while. There's going to be a lot of people probably trying to get in, and some of those people are going to be flippers, but I think a large percentage of them are going to be educated gamers who love this stuff and are going to reap the benefits of participating early. We've really stacked the rewards for people participating in this next sale. For example, we're never going to do another sale where you get a specialist or citizen attached to your asteroid sale. You're going to get a crew member essentially for free from us. And the rarity of those is 1 out of 11,100, and they each have individual bonuses that will apply in game. And no crew member ever again will have that. And we're doing that specifically to reward these early adopters in a way that feels meaningful, but also increases the utility and participation in game.
Yeah, I wanted to chime on that because, I have some asteroids that I didn't even scan that I could probably sell for in this next release, and I'm probably going to keep them unscanned. But when you have an incomparable, what does that do for passive, so say if influence takes off, what does that passive structure look like for you earn more sway, you get more of this Talk about that.
How it works is every asteroid has a unique composition of resources that can be mined below their surface. And because of this, when you have something that's an incomparable, what that is basically saying is that you have bonuses that are applied to that asteroid. For example, one of them is a plus 50% to ice and volatile harvesting. Meaning, let's say you have an I-type asteroid. Those are icy asteroids, and the only thing on those are volatiles. And so when you're mining that, you're getting plus 50%. So for every one resource you bring up, you're getting 1.5. So when you take that amount of bonus applied to that, that's a huge amount in a game that's all about min and maxing. So you're going to have small asteroids that someone purchased for 0.03 ether in the beginning, our very, very first sale, and they're going to be producing just monstrous amounts of resources. Now it's weighted very heavily because size gradation of asteroids goes up quite quickly. And so, yeah, maybe your incomparable one outproduces any other small, but once you get to the medium size, you're not really going to be able to compete in terms of like a fully fledged alliance or corporation. The bigger your asteroid, the more opportunity you're going to have. However,
and those are the resources that I use to build on my asteroid, right? My buildings, my vehicles, right? You're saying.
Yeah, so ice, for example, the icy type asteroids, the volatiles will be used primarily to make ship fuel. And so if you imagine, let's say we have 50,000 players in this game at some point, you need a lot of ship fuel to have 50,000 ships or more moving across the belt. And so ice volatiles are going to be, fairly always valuable in that sense for utility, because if you want to move, you need fuel. And so having a highly bonused asteroid, is very, it's not important. It's just more valuable to players. Now, I don't want this to sound like, oh, if I don't have an incomparable, I can't compete in this game. In this next sale, what we're doing is ensuring that anyone who purchases an asteroid gets at least an uncommon rarity asteroid. And when you get uncommon, you're already in the top, about 45% rarity. So after this sale, we're no longer going to guarantee rarity, and about 65% of the belt will be common, meaning no bonuses whatsoever. So participating early really does have rewards. And later on, that doesn't mean you won't be able to, really push and gain influence in game. But we're probably going to see is a lot of alliances and corporations form around these asteroids that were purchased in the first two sales. So if you imagine like the hub being at that really rare asteroid, and everyone is participating in that corporation to facilitate marketplace trade and combat through that.
Wow. Jeremy, I know you probably have something. I got to get to the chat. Someone said, hello, guys. What's up, Stan Rabbit? Padge said, when next drop again? We're going to get to all those details. Don't get it twisted. Just stick around. Tell Grandma to come in here. Hello, guys. Best regards. Another wild week, right? OpenSea Valen for August is just crazy, and we passed only half the month. Yeah, and I think that Influence is going to get a piece of that. They truly deserve that for all the shit they've been building under the trenches. Crypto AK said this channel is underrated. Just subscribe here for the journey. You're the man. Hit that like button. Yes, hit that like button for sure. T Will says, so how does someone who owns no NFTs and no prior knowledge bid in this sale?
That is a great question. We have been providing some resources. I would highly recommend joining our Discord if you're interested. But at the very base of it, you need to install a wallet to interact with the blockchain.
Walshy honestly should be talking about this right now because he's doing that with Avastars all the time.
Yeah, MetaMask.
So of course he wants to do it now.
No, you don't.
He gets paid to do that now.
I tell you about no more wallets.
But I think the simplest version, if you're space and you want to interact, there's two things you're going to need to do is learn how to fund a wallet and learn how to use a wallet. There's plenty of videos. If you just Google how to use MetaMask, there's probably the very first hit is going to walk you through that entire process. It's probably going to take you about 10 minutes to learn and another 10 minutes to set up, and you're ready to go. Funding a wallet is, you're going to have some capital wherever you're from. Put that into something like Coinbase or Gemini, and then putting ether into that wallet. So there's a little bit of a process and learning curve, but once you're there, you're going to always know how to do it. You just have to remember to be safe with your information.
And shout out to the ABC boys over there in Influences Discord. You guys are always helpful as hell. You guys really are, open arms. Those ABC clan is amazing. Jeremy, you had a question, or DeadStock?
I think
Walsh?
probably the best way to learn about MetaMask and wallets and stuff is if you go join the Avastar Discord and bug the shit out of Walsh. That's probably the best way to learn about wallets. So definitely don't watch videos and go take up all of Walshy's time, because he really appreciates it.
The satire. Jeremy.
Yes.
Hold on, you broke up a little bit. Hold on. Stay still, stay put. Hold it.
You went Mr. Roboto on us there, Jer.
That's not me though, right? Okay. All right, you're back. You should be back.
Okay.
Dave Chappelle.
Cool. So I think you touched upon something super important, JP, earlier, and it was the sort of shift from being used to just like art and collectibles to like utility. And that is something that I think a lot of people have not woken up to yet, is like you could have cool art, you could have really cool digital assets, you could have really cool NFTs, but like we're now entering into like the utility chapter of like the NFT journey, and like what I love that you guys are ensuring is that you are adding utility to your NFTs, and like that is like what is going to one of the things that is going to power the next wave of like NFT adoption and encourage people to set up wallets and that sort of thing. So that is something that just makes me so incredibly excited and bullish on the space in general,
It's funny he said that, because Pranksy literally said, 15 hours ago, he said the next phase of NFTs could soon be upon us, as the 10K collectible profile picture lottery market finally slows for most projects. Which creative medium form do you believe is the next NFT boom? And I really believe that's going to be play to earn. And I think you're in the right zone right now, Influence.
Yeah, I think there's two things that's going to arise from the evolution of the NFT space. I don't think the 10,000 PFP project is going to go anywhere. It's just going to be harder to break into the market for people in the future. But there's two things. Play to earn, I think, is a huge thing. It introduces 2.7 billion current gamers. Yeah, 2.7 billion gamers to the blockchain space. And what's cool about gamers is they're already used to having a learning curve. When you play a new game, there's a learning curve. And so when they're diving into this new game, they're not thinking, oh, it's so complicated, blockchain's hard. They're just like, that's what I have to do to play this game. And so once you introduce people into this gaming space and they learn the tools, then they're able to function in the blockchain space natively. And so you're going to start seeing a giant Trojan horse go into the castle, and once they're in, like, there's no stopping it. The floodgates are open, and there's just going to be millions and millions of more crypto users. And I think that's the really beautiful thing what gaming does. But the second thing, and play to earn also has this, is the ability to fractionalize ownership. And so when you own an NFT right now, if you think about PFP projects, very few have the ability to like kind of splice it up and own a piece of it. But CryptoPunks is a good one to think about. You can own like a 0.05% of a CryptoPunk in this form of a contract, and that's what smart contracts are so beautiful about. They can do anything in terms of software. And so we're starting to see software eat the world, and then what that's allowing is play to earn to start eating the world. And I think it's so exciting, and people who don't understand it yet, that's perfectly okay. Spend the time learning it. But in a few years, you won't be asking what is play to earn. You'll be asking, which game do I play? And I think yeah, exactly. But I think the beauty is what we're hoping to see in the future, whether it's Influence, Parallel, Axie, whatever it is that anyone in the world can hop on a game, add value to that game, and earn from that. Right now, what you're seeing is centralized companies. Let's take World of Warcraft. You're paying $15 a month to play a game. And when you start an alliance in that game and you spend 5, 10, 20, 40 hours a week managing a huge alliance, what do you get out of that? Maybe some DKP, some cool gear from your raids.
Gear, bro.
Yeah, but like, why not own the gear? Why not own a piece of the market? why not generate true value in exact proportion for what you're putting in?
So,
And so I think that's
I think that's a
go
good point.
ahead, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that's a good point because a lot of times with these games, it's the underlying technology and not just influencer, not just like Top Shot or all these even the PFPs and stuff like that. There needs to be some kind of character that people have to have some kind of emotional connection to. So a lot of us we like the PFPs, or we got in early enough that we got the good ones. Or with the video games, we're waiting for something that really strikes us. So whether it's parallel or whether it's influence, like that's the whole thing. Because when people want to do something, it doesn't matter what steps are involved to get there. When you want to go on vacation, you don't care that you got to book the flight and you got to book a hotel, you got to pack and you got to do all the shit, you got to travel. Like you want to go on vacation. But if you got to go on a work trip, you're like, well, fuck this. I got to go on a work trip. I got to go deal with this guy. And like, when you want to do something, you'll make it through all those steps. You want to work out, you will work out. When you don't want to do something, every little thing is like when people didn't want to go to school, I got to get up early. I got to do homework. I got to like all these little things add up. So it's like when you see something like influence that people have a passion for, or parallel, or Top Shot that got people who love basketball into collecting the moments and stuff like that, you're really introducing people to the blockchain in a way that just bridges that gap where they're not even questioning, oh, I got to like, what's a MetaMask, what's crypto, what's all, like they don't give a fuck. They just want to get there to the destination and they'll figure out how to do it where they don't feel like they're working for it. And that's the biggest thing. They're making it where you don't have to feel like it's work. You're just enjoying the experience, and enjoying the experience you're participating in. It's really just a cycle that feeds off of itself. So
Yo, hold that thought because
Well
I want to give Walshy some of that Walshy wisdom because I need everyone to be participating in this. First, before I do that, thanks for the DM. Milky Taste says influence isn't playable yet and already has some of the best community engagement I've seen. So much passion, and I trust you, Milky Taste. You out here showing good alpha, being a good man, being a good lad. Walshy, what is your opinion on play to earn? Is that the next wave? Is it all hype? Is it bust? What do you think?
Definitely not bust. I mean, we can see it's not bust with Axie Infinity. It's I don't want to start throwing numbers out there because I don't know the specifics, but I know that it's just astronomical what they're putting out. And as far as the next wave, I mean, play to earn's been around for a little while. I myself, I really like play to earn myself. Like Avastars, for example, and I've mentioned this before, had a bit of a play to earn aspect to it with the consignment fees, to where you could basically self-curate Avastars that you thought would be neat, put them onto the, it was called the global feed. And if somebody was to purchase that, you basically got a kickback. So in a sense, you were investing your time and there was a potential for a bit of an income there for you. So play to earn really benefited me in the early stages of NFTs. It helped me be able to collect more NFTs that I wanted without a big bankroll when I started.
That's a key point.
There's something with play to earn that you're far more engaged whenever you know that there's some sort of a financial dividend at the end of the tunnel, as opposed to when there's not. And it doesn't have to be a massive reward. I mean, sometimes it can be an NFT, but if that said NFT is a really good currency sink for your in-game currency, and it holds more value than said in-game currency, which is totally possible depending on how the team puts the stuff together, I think that that's just an incredible goal to work towards, because I see a tremendous amount of value in that, and I'm sure that there's millions of people out there that would agree.
For
You know
real.
what the
Well said.
you know what the TLDR on that is, and we kind of touched upon this last night, is the future of play to earn, in my opinion. Well, and there's a lot of different threads here, but it's the youth, And what I mean is, like, right now we are
Thank
a
you for the
bunch of
subscriber.
we're a bunch of big kids grown up building out like this future, and we're all having the time of our lives, and we're a bunch of like just grown up nerds like playing games that we wanted to play as kids. Now the future of that is when all the like 13 and 14-year-olds right now who like totally click with the stuff and are already super digital native, and they'll soon be crypto native. Like, okay, that's the baseline right there. It's like when all the 13 and 14-year-olds come into this, and it just makes total sense to them. A wallet makes sense to them. It's all super easy because they've been doing this shit anyways. Now, imagine taking that one step further with our grandchildren, and when you zoom out, like, our grandchildren aren't going to understand, like, why we would pay real money for assets that we didn't own. And it's that simple.
Yeah, no more fucking convincing grandma and wasting energy and using the energy to play to earn.
Yeah.
Take that energy, transmute it to play to earn. JP, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I just think the power of play to earn is really interesting. We were talking about it in our Discord a little bit ago about, let's say you start off as a free to play player. Maybe you need, let's say, $10 or something like that in just gas, through playing per month or something. And I don't know what the number is. I'm just making up a number here. So it's not 100% free because there's a tiny amount of gas fee when we move to layer 2. But let's say you start for free. Here and there you're playing and you're good at this. You like it, you catch on, you spend the time to learn, you join an alliance, you add value, and now you leveled up your characters and the plots of land that you're leasing and paying, like a small percentage to the owner to become really nice and valuable. And now you're participating in the liquidity pool on a marketplace. And over a 6-month time, you earn enough to use your in-game token Sway to purchase an asteroid in the belt.
Wait, you just said you have an in-game token? I thought it would just have asteroids, bro. I thought this was just asteroids. You're telling me you have a token?
There's not a lot of details about Sway for the public right now, and that's for a reason. We want to make sure we do it right. We do it legally. The tokenomics are proper. But yes, there will be an in-game token called Sway. So when you sell resources, you purchase things in-game, you're interacting from, let's say, steel bars that you have made and getting Sway for them. So it's that's the in-game token to allow and facilitate easy swapping and trading and buying. Because if you think about, if we didn't have that token, now it's a barter and trade system, and you're like, what is my steel bar worth? 7 bales of hay. Like, no one would have any idea. It's like, back to the, like, I have 7 seashells and you have 9 like kelps. I'm gonna, like, what do I do?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Sway is all about that. Actually, someone today we were on the phone with had a great thing. They were like, so is this game kind of like Settlers of Catan? And I was like, in a way, not at all. But if you think about the resource types and how people, facilitate trade through the resource groups, yeah, it's quite easy to understand it then from that perspective. And then you apply play to earn and this token Sway onto it. And you're like, whoa, I'm playing a game, I'm earning this token, and maybe you never transfer it back into Ether and then to your native currency. Maybe it's always in game, but you have the opportunity to bridge that back to currency. And I think that is the beauty. It's not about absolutely doing it and getting rich off it. It's the fact that you are now given the opportunity and choice. And that is very powerful.
Dude,
ask a question about that really quick.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about the, I know you said you can't get too far into it, JP, with the coin and whatnot, but there's another game that I'm not going to name right now that I kind of got into, and they really fucking shit the bed on the tokenomics. They implemented all these different types of programs for people that were joining up, where you could get so many characters at a discount, or you could do this at a discount. And within a month, they had to cut the rewards by like 4x, to the point where now you're playing at a loss. So like, I mean, it's always like the worst case scenario for something like this to happen. I'm just kind of curious, like,
that's a great question.
What do you guys have on the go on the back end to kind of prevent that from happening? Like, do you consult with like other teams that have been successful? Do you have like an actual economist that kind of comes in, or I don't know.
I've got a good answer to that. A few parts of it. First of all, don't look at purchasing these types of things as like a direct investment. The game had made no promise to being an investment. What we're doing is providing a system in which you can play to earn, and what you earn could just be, Sway, and what that equates to you. We're not sure yet. We have to see what the player base does, what the game does. However, when it comes to sound tokenomics, you have to really look at it on all factors. I'll take it away. So this isn't about influence per se. This is just about economy in general. When you look at like the United States economy right now, everyone's worried about inflation. When inflation gets out of whack and it keeps rising, it prices people out of the market quickly. Goods become more expensive. And then what you paid yesterday for water becomes irrelevant, because tomorrow it's going to be a different price. And that creates a really unstable economy. So matching inflation with because you need inflation. Otherwise, people just hold their asset. If they know it's going to be worth more tomorrow, then you don't want to sell it. But if there's fluctuation in the price at any given time within a certain range, then it's okay. And what you can use for that is mechanisms and levers to basically put money into the system so that your supply grows, but then there's opportunity for it to get locked up in certain areas. And so it's all a balancing act. And when people like, oh, but what if they're bad actors in the space and they abuse the system or something like that? Well, if they're abusing the system, they're ruining the economy they work in as well. So it's not in anyone's interest to try and screw with it. But like you said, it is very important that the initial system is properly set up. And how we do that is through a lot of time, a lot of effort, work. We talk to, we have talked to economists. We've talked to people who have helped set up like huge hedge funds and things like that, and understanding how index funds work, and just kind of looking at inflation a lot and listening. Honestly, the Bankless podcast has been really fun. There's an episode on Lynn Aldrin talking about inflation.
She's really good. She's really, she knows her stuff.
Yeah, and it's a really beautiful way to think about things. And so like the short answer to that is that you do your due diligence and you accept that nothing is ever perfect, but you need to have certain mechanisms so that when you tweak something, it doesn't screw over the community. You always want to have the ability to add.
I like this topic, and I know DeadStock, you're going into it, but go ahead.
Yeah. The only thing I want to say, and I'll try to keep it short because it covers a lot of things, but like one, well, I mean, Walshy, we could say what it is. He's talking about crypto blades, but honestly, like history, I mean, it's not any quality. I don't agree that they shit the bed, but I'm just coming from a point that, at the sense that we're looking at with crypto blades, and we're looking at even say Top Shot. People, when they have a bad experience, when something explodes and they get in at the top, or then the company or the project starts adjusting, we need that stuff. Let's go back to inflation. We need inflation, obviously, like you said. If not, people are going to hold their assets. You know, all of crypto is all inflation. When it's being mined, that's inflation. That's the only way it gets in. Miners create inflation and then pour it back into the economy. The price dips, blah, blah, blah. People buy it up. We need inflation, and, you know, whether it's proof of stake, proof of work, all that type of shit. With, you know, say Top Shot, when it had the boom up in January and February, you know, looking at the moments themselves, those moments, basketball moments, as say the currency, because that's basically what it is, or even looking at crypto blades, you know, you could have got the crypto blade token skill for under $1 or around $1, and then it boomed all the way up to $180. And of course, the rewards at $1 they need to be completely different than what they're going to be at $180. And right now it's sitting around 45 bucks. But it's how the project handles that, because same thing with Top Shot. They were building a product that was growing, and for over 6-7 months, from June, July of last year up until the end of January, they were moving at a steady pace. They went from, you know, 5,000 people to 10,000 to 15 to 20, and then it went from 20,000 people accounts with moments to 200,000. And of course, there's only moments that are dictated for the 20,000 people. Of course, it's going to boom the moments prices up, and people get in at the top, and all of a sudden things start fucking falling down. So it's one of those things where I completely agree with Walshy, where things could be handled better, but at the same time, these things have to happen, because as much as we're always talking about when is Parallel going to boom, when is Influence going to boom, when is Top Shot going to, you know, come back, or when people are saying when were they going to boom before they boomed, and now they, you know, now they found the floor and they're creeping back up. These things are going to happen, and same thing with crypto blades. It's how the project handles it, because even though we all want that stuff to happen, when it does happen, like, how prepared can you be for the, you know, for the what you don't know exactly how your system is going to handle that. And so I really find it important to, like, as much as we want to prepare, it's life, and, you know, we can try to plan all day, but it's life. So, you know, you have to make the pivots and you have to adjust at that point. So I definitely agree in the sense that, you know, once this virtual economy that you're building gets going, there's going to be some stuff that happens, and you guys are going to have to pivot and adjust, and you can only plan for so much. But it's good to always try to, you know, preparation is key, prevention is better than cure.
Wouldn't the solution there, compared to crypto blades, I'm with Walshy here, just to say, hey, Influence, this is our currency, this is your rate, it's not going up, it's going to be minimal from the beginning, so people don't have to be like, oh yeah, I just got slashed 4x and I feel like I was robbed. Let's just have this fucking the reward ROI be at a minimal number for everyone. No,
just to kind of throw this out there though, like, in no way am I blaming crypto blades. Like when I make an investment, I 100% am willing to lose that money. I consider all money that I invest a potential 100% loss before I even invest it. I think that just there's probably a lot of viewers like myself just feel a lot better having heard the way JP explained how things are going to be handled versus how I've seen things handled elsewhere. Yeah. Because I just seen a lot of lack of what I would have liked to have called good management in other projects, which, you've kind of made me feel at ease in explaining things the way that you have. So thank you very much.
No, I completely agree. And with this Sway, it's going to be in-game currency. Are you saying that you're going to eventually have it become like, say, something on Uniswap where it's going to have like a Sway ETH pool where it's going to be able to be tradable, or this is going to be in-game and eventually you might pull it out to have something external?
Yeah, so I'll say this because I really can't go into too much detail about it, but there's a bridge back. If you have Sway, you can get it back to Ether. If you have Ether, you can get it into Sway. So, that's absolutely our plan. Otherwise, it's not play to earn. And so you have to have that. But a topic that brings me to is that, like, people are wondering, okay, this is a market game. There's liquidity pools. How does that work? Well, you can own your own marketplace in this game. So if you have a fairly large asteroid, you can basically leverage that space and put a lot of storage in and then build a marketplace. And you can incentivize people to bring resources, store them into your liquidity pool, just like a Uniswap pool. Let's say you lend your ETH to this pool and people are trading from ETH to, let's say, SLP, Smooth Love Potion on Axie. You're earning a percentage of that. So if you own 1% of that liquidity pool, you're basically capturing 1% of all the transactions on that market. Same thing in our game. You're going to be able to basically put, let's say, steel bars into a liquidity pool. And then when people come in and purchase that with Sway, if you own 5% of that liquidity pool, you're going to get that, that percentage. And so you keep building up. But there's a whole thing, and I love that, like, people are going to learn economy without having to learn economy, is like arbitrage. If people know what arbitrage is, it's basically a price difference between two marketplaces. And whenever that happens, you're going to see a lot of bots, like on Coinbase versus Gemini, trading until they get to equal again. And so what you're going to see in influence is you have one marketplace that's like, hey, we just started a marketplace. We want to get people here. We're going to incentivize people to put their resources here by giving them a big reward. You're going to have a higher APR, essentially. And then people are like, oh my God, I got to move my resources here. I'm earning so much. Like, people are going to scramble over here. But as more people put in, that reward lowers until it reaches equilibrium of what the entire system is about at. But the cool thing about this game is that the asteroids all rotate in real time around a star. And so the positioning of your asteroid and marketplace will play a key role in certain supply and demand, because at a certain point, it might be a lot easier, faster for me to go to this one marketplace, even though their prices are 15% higher, because I need those now to build my ship. And so I'm going to pay that premium. I'm going to go to that asteroid that's closer rather than travel to across the entire side of the other belt and then purchase those asteroids at a 15% discount from that other marketplace. So you're going to constantly see people making decisions about opening up their marketplace.
And everybody will have their own strategy. Like some people won't mind taking the time to go stay cheap. Some people will be like, I need this now because I want to make some moves.
And then I'll be selling you fuel, and I'll be making that cash in the middle. So you travel.
Or you might even see, like, straight up merchants owning ships. They're going to land in your marketplace because they see that you have a 15% discount basically on steel bars. They have a shitload of fuel to power their ship, and they're going to buy up as much of your steel,
which helps you out because you're selling it. Yeah.
They're going to be flipping on a bulk price.
And
you got space nomads.
Yeah,
Space nomads, caravan trains going like all around the belt, like picking up fish here, selling seashells there.
That is crazy.
And all the way around the place, and like this, it's going to balance itself out so well, and yeah, it's very novel and unique. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, but one thing I really want to stress is that we are gearing this game and building it so that whether or not you can dedicate 10 minutes a day, or you're playing 8 hours a day, you're going to have a fun experience. We don't want it to be where, like, it's so sweaty try hard that anyone who's new comes into the game is just like instantly like turned off by how complicated and crazy and like difficult for it is for new people to come in. And so we're going to have mechanisms to automate certain things so that you don't have to like facilitate every single action that you do. You're going to be able to say like, okay, I want to do X. All I have to do is push this button, and it'll allow people to participate in things a little bit more than if you were to have to do every individual piece at all times.
I know what my strategy would be. I would just try to own as much storage as possible. That way everybody's like mining everything. I'm like, you do that because you're going to have to come to me to put it someplace.
He's going to be the U-Haul of the belt, the
You're
U-Haul
have
storage.
to pay for protection though. Once conflict comes out, people are going to be like, I want to blow that guy's storage facilities up. Like,
I know.
Bring it. I want the smoke. I'm going to have friends and
he's going to have the Sensei on his side.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I would say what I would this is a funny bit of the show. But JP, give me a deal with Coca-Cola. Let me put advertising on my asteroid, and then I can let people just fucking come there and mine whatever they want. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all I need. Yep. An asteroid advertisement with Coca-Cola, and then JP, you're gonna make it happen.
Honestly, we have talked about like what would that type of thing look like in our game. And it is an interesting thing to think about, because let's say you have 20,000 people visiting your asteroid every month. Well, you may be like a new crypto project, and you're like, well, we also have a play to earn game. It would be great to get in front of other play to earn players. So like, I don't know, maybe you name your asteroid, like you buy an asteroid and you name it Coca-Cola. And so anytime someone has to go to your asteroid, you know, they go to Coca-Cola, you know, whatever it is. So I think there's interesting ways to implement that type of stuff. You're also going to be able to sell your asteroid directly in game. And so when you do that, you're going to be able to see basically their like address, their OpenSea address. So you could click on that and peruse what other things people own. So you might, you know, in chat or Discord be like, hey, everyone, visit my asteroid. If you also like the wares, check out my OpenSea profile, like whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I do want to say, somebody mentioned about if kids start doing these play to earns, about the behavioral psychology of like what would happen between, I just want to tell you right now, a lot of these jobs, and I think we're all pretty clear on it, like a lot of the jobs, cashiers, are getting automated. So a lot of these jobs are going to get automated. A lot of jobs that people are going to be doing will be play to earn, or and it's going to be in engineering and programming. It's going to be on computers and all that stuff. So I mean, that's my take on that, because in the end, like
thank you for covering that.
Yeah, no worries.
Are you talking about crypto low key, and especially play to earn, like low key becoming universal basic income? Because I've been talking with that idea recently.
That and in general, like the you know, the picks and shovels that we're always talking about, the people that build it, the programmers and the coders and all that stuff. Because if you're not getting into and especially robotics is going to be huge, AI and all that stuff. So like eventually people aren't going to be like, oh, I need to go. Like we have all these McDonald's memes. As much as we love the fast food fidenzas, which I absolutely adore. Thank you, brother.
Fast food punks.
You know, yeah, fast food punks, of course, got both. Because I need my fast food punk to go home and realize that he has a fast food fidenza. That's just the whole win thing.
You know what's something that completely blew my mind yesterday when we were talking on our Twitter Spaces was, soon one day, like people are going to be talking about influence like they talk about nation, like countries, like influence this month provided X amount of jobs. You know what I mean? And like that's where play to earn is going. Like Axie provided X amount of jobs to this many people, Parallel provided this amount of jobs, like Ember Sword, like whatever it may be. Like imagine that's going to be like reality in the next like 5 to 10 years, you know? Like, okay, like Walshy straight up was just talking about like, oh, I kind of like cut my teeth like in this like abstract kickback like curation sort of thing, you know, and like there's going to be like space pirates and like, you know, that's going to be a job, like legit though. That's
what do you do for work? Oh, I'm a fucking space pirate.
Yeah.
Damn, you're cool. Let me buy you a beer.
Yeah.
Right.
Wild. It's wild. I wanted to say to influence, you dropped a lot of alpha on us. Is there any alpha we're missing that you want to leak? Because we're all about leaks here. And if you could do it in the dojo, what are the best place to do it in dojo? And then I have a really serious question after that, and then I'll let the panel go do their thing.
Yeah, great question. Okay, let's see, what can I give?
Give us
let me
something,
start-
please.
Yeah, no, let me
Parallel. I'll be
start-
having to bite them at the teeth just to get something from Parallel, man.
Yeah. Let me start easy, and then I'll work into maybe something more juicy. Easy.
Juicy.
Our sale is going to be early September. I can't tell you the date yet because we're firming that up probably in the next few days. So that'll be announced pretty soon. Early September, there's going to be only 9,241 asteroids available during that sale. So if you are interested, learn about it now because it's kind of
That's smaller than Sandbox Lands. I swear to God.
And going for the same price as before, or a little higher? Or...
We ensured that people who participated in our last sale would get the lowest base price ever. And so from $60, last sale we pegged ETH, or $60, whatever that equated in ETH, that was the base price. This next sale, $75 is the base price, but depending on what ETH is at that time, I don't know. It could be 0.03, it could be 0.1, it could be 0.005. I have no idea. It's just going to be $75.
No, but that's very admirable that at least one, you're showing how much to the early adopters, but two, you're kind of not doing it to a set ETH price where a lot of people or you talk to a lot of people early in the year, they're like, I'm going to keep charging this and this, and like if ETH keeps going up, like you're just fucking people over. So that's admirable that you are doing that. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, that's just because also like with your last sell, like it was unfortunate timing, so you guys like adjusted and you know what I mean, but that's like a great sign that you guys took away a lesson, you learned, and like now you're gonna execute way better. You know, that's super important in like finding a good project to build conviction around. So kudos for that.
And it was interesting because last sale, nothing went wrong. Nothing on our end was technically wrong. It was just the volatility in the market. Like ETH was swinging $300 in a day, and gas prices were insane. So it's like we were just like, sorry, like good luck. Like we really didn't have a better opportunity for that. And people have asked, oh well, why can't you do something like Parallel did in their last sale where people reserved and then they bought later, ensuring that gas prices were low essentially. But the problem with that is we don't have, our sale is different. Every asteroid is a different size. Every asteroid is a different price. The price of asteroid scales directly with the size of asteroid. So
and you're not buying a pack of asteroids, you're buying the asteroids itself.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it's an important
multi-buy, you have to single buy.
That's a lot of metadata too.
Yeah. So it's just going to be the way it is. You buy your asteroid, you pay your gas. And we're hoping that with EIP 1559, gas is a bit more stable. If it's crazy, you're going to have to pay higher gas. If it's not crazy, the thing about our sale is it's open-ended. So 9,241 will be available, and it will be open until they sell out. And the reason we're doing that is because there's really no point in making a closed sale. It's a game. And if it takes 5 days to sell those out, that's fine. It doesn't change the utility of those asteroids whatsoever. I think with PFP projects, if they don't sell out in a day, you're like, oh, I can't flip it. Well, with influence, as long as the game comes to fruition and we keep hitting our milestones, your asteroid is piece of land in game, and it's not going anywhere.
What is that second alpha leak? I love what you just said there. But what is that?
You gave us the vegetables. You gave us the
you gave us a little
dessert.
Yeah. Okay. You want the meat and potatoes.
Pilaf.
Okay. So
the moose. We want the moose.
Okay. So something you can learn about, but it's gonna, if you're not willing to read a wiki, it's gonna be hard to find. Crew members that are attached to asteroids, the rarity, the bonus roll, we'll call it, your RNG numbers are much better the bigger of asteroid you buy. So not only do you get better dollar value per size increase, you're also getting rarer crew. And those rare crew are gonna just, in all reality, with 11,100, the people who buy bigger will have the top X% of those rarity. And with rarity comes bonuses in game. And so, I think that's a pretty good thing to look at. Okay. People always ask, what asteroid should I buy? Well, it's a little bit of a hard question because you have to pick, what type of gamer are you? Do you want to play this as a game? Are you an NFT flipper? What category do you fall under, first of all? But if you go to our wiki and you click the spectral type link and you scroll all the way down, you're going to see charts. It'll break down the exact number of each spectral type, and some have very few, like less than 1.25% of the belt are composed of I-type asteroids. So those are inherently scarce. However, like last sale, because they are scarce, a lot of people purchased I's. So the most popular one you can find on secondary are I-type asteroids. So when you think about it, you're like, okay, which ones are rare, but people aren't going to like jump into immediately. So look at those SM types, the triple type CSM, CIS.
I love CSM types. I'm a big CSM types. Asteroid, small ones. CSM. I got that carbon, got that metal, got that. What's the S stand for?
Stony.
So a lot of cool things I can do with that.
Yeah, Walshy and I are stony, but we're also talking about in real life too.
Oh yeah,
so.
okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Two things. I think these, I'm trying to give you as much as possible without giving away everything, but crew members, when you mint them and you name them, that name is forever. So if you mint a crew member and you name it something that is like Bill Gates or something, you get Bill Gates for the rest of time. It is Bill Gates. So I'm not going to give away the names that I want to attach to the one, that I will probably get.
Obviously, Mr. Poopy Butthole, but that's very
yeah. Rick Sanchez will be gone in a second.
I'm about to coom.
And then the last thing too is the bigger your asteroid. So the largest 2,000 asteroids will always be visible when you go into game first. Until you start filtering, you can only see the largest 2,000. So from a visibility standpoint, those larger ones will likely become inherently useful from a perspective of instant, visual perspective.
Awareness.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Thank you so much, brother. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy. If you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer anything.
Also, just a quick plug, what you could do, which is available right now, is purchase a toy for Young's dojo and get in the dojo, and you could talk to us about this type of stuff and more.
Thank you guys. Thanks, DeadStock, for saying that. Holy shit.
Anyone who purchases the pink poodle of Mr. Young Content, you get access to a Discord with all of us. I'm in there. Jeremy's in there. All of us. We're
Parallel. Sasha's in there. But look, did you guys like the airdrop? I spent a lot of money on that thing.
Dude, yes.
That was sick, bro.
I play disc golf weekly.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Disc golf, cool. So guys, if you buy the toy, you get the airdrop, okay? When you buy it, I just sent like 2 frisbees to the homies BG and Oso. Shout out to Oso, coming up, Apex Legend player. Really cool dude, changing his life in parallel. Someone said right here, Stan said, I couldn't afford a rock. I may consider buying an asteroid. Consider it. They're going to be $75 for the small one. The uncommon, what he was saying. There's a lot of information and that we were just dropped here. The roles, the PFP projects you get, the rarity on those. Who knows? You might get a good one. Where can we buy a poodle? You can buy a poodle at Young Show on Twitter. Go to my Twitter. You'll see it at the end of the stream at Young Show. And it's right there in the link in bio. It's $60, 0.03 ETH, and then you get that airdrop as well. And then I'll invite you to the Discord, and then we all party.
Matter of fact, if you're watching this video on YouTube, if you look in the description, you can just click that link for his Twitter, and you can go right to it. It'll have the Rarible account. You go only 0.03, which is nothing, to just get this alpha, which a lot of people are trying to charge to get in these, Discords.
Yeah, but this team has been doing it for a long time. I've been in crypto and NFTs in 2018. I know DeadStock, Jeremy, they're all just very, very smart people. We're not going to show you a product. The dojo is very cool. Guys, I do have a Dead Fellas interview at 8 o'clock, and the guys in Australia for Dead Fellas. We're doing giveaways and stuff, so I have to kind of wrap this up in the next 15 minutes.
Real quick then.
Say again?
So to be real quick, just want to shout out Metamori, our brother, who also ties in to, we all know where our boy lives. So Maury, we love you. Also, a couple things.
Shut up, Maury.
There was a VV drop today. It was Marvel who just partnered with VV, and VV will be eventually going to Immutable X, so it could be bridged with Ethereum. So you know, a lot of people that participate, because a lot of times it's only on that blockchain with the OMI token. They just dropped the #1 comic, so you could have got the #1 comic, Marvel comic, today on BB. The boy got 10 of them. Yes, I did. So we'll see what happens with that. It's
way to tell a homie, man.
I threw it out there. I tried to ask everybody.
I'm just joking. I'm good.
That, and then also Walshy, do you want to mention something about our apes?
Yes.
Yes, guys. There's some pretty exciting news that just popped up on crypto Twitter in the last couple days, and that is that anybody with a bored ape is soon going to be benefiting from the very, very much anticipated mutant ape. We don't have an exact date yet, but we know that the Mutant Ape Yacht Club is on the horizon, and it should be announced within, I'd assume, the next couple days when we can expect those to go live.
So tell them what you need.
All you need to have is one ape. You need one ape, and you can use, I think it's going to be a machine, like an arcade machine. You can use the mutant machine, and I'm not really sure how the process is going to work, but I'm hoping it's another juicy reward.
Free money
to what the dog was. You know what I mean? The dog was, in a lot of cases, $5,000 to $10,000 for people who wanted to sell those. I still have mine, but I would presume that the mutants are going to be above and beyond what the dog provided for value, although I could be wrong. But I would anticipate that there's going to be some very happy people the day that we can go ahead and mint those mutants.
Also, next week isn't Meta Heroes coming out.
Ooh.
And remember, you can mint it anytime you want. So let's see what people do with it. Are they minting right away? Staking? Ooh, I want to see. I want to know. Keep your eyes tuned.
Can I ask JP one last question? If we have like just one last quick question.
Yeah, for
this
sure.
Is something I'm actually very curious
We're
about.
going to do that last question. We're going to go to round table. Everyone will show something, and then we're going to head the fuck out of here.
Cool. JP, I don't know if you have any color on this. It might be too early, or I don't know how much you guys have thought this through. But as far as play to earn goes, and scholarships, and plugging into something like YGG, have you guys thought about how that might look? If I wanted to build a asteroid empire and bring in scholars, have you guys thought about that, or what might that look like? And I understand if that's too early to talk about, or
are you talking about the mechanism of how getting scholars in the game, or are you talking specifically about who might be joining?
Not so much who might be joining, but just what that might look like. What sort of opportunities would what sort of scholarships might I be able to provide, or just what I don't know if that's clear.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I'll try and keep it super short. When you own an asteroid, there's a set amount of plots on there. Each plot is about 1 square kilometer. The smallest asteroids have about 10 to 13 plots, and they scale very quickly up. So I think some of the mediums even have a few hundred to a few, 1,000 plots and things like that. So how that would work in scholarship terms would be our game will be providing a lease agreement, essentially. So a customizable lease agreement, so that you can give out to people that you want to play on your asteroid. They sign the lease, essentially a smart contract, and then they're given some plots on your asteroid, and they can start getting to work. Now, cool thing, if you're an asteroid owner and trying to get scholars, is essentially you're going to want to provide some kind of startup, capital to them. You'll be like, yeah, join, pay the X%, I'll loan you this amount of sway, let's say, that'll allow you to build one building of your choice, and then you agree to 12 months of playing on this asteroid at this percentage, essentially of me collecting X% of whatever you're yielding.
That's rad. That's rad. You're gonna definitely change a lot of people's lives all over Croatia and fucking Philippines. Everywhere it's gonna get changed. Guys, I have to give each and every one of you the floor. We're gonna have Influence say the last word, but Shilla Project, channel your inner sensei. We've been doing this shit for fucking 20 episodes. Nothing new. Shout out to all the people who watch. Chat is dominating. I love you guys. Metamori, all of you guys, everyone in the dojo. We're going up regardless. So I'm gonna give Walshy the floor first. Channel your inner sensei, bro, and then we'll go DeadStock, Jeremy, and then Influence.
I mean, I'm not really the kind of guy to shill too hard, but I mean, tomorrow, if you're an Art Blocks person, have your eyes on the Art Blocks curated that's dropping at, I don't know exactly what time. I want to say it's around 9 o'clock Pacific, but double check on that if you want to participate in the Art Blocks curated drop. Aside from that, if you did go ahead and get a Penelope's cat, after listening to our show for the past month and hearing me drone on about them,
You heard that news. You said it,
we-
Walshy. You fucking
it's
been preaching it.
called
I appreciate you for that. That's why people need to pay attention to what Walshy says.
if you want to go ahead and go to the Penelope's Discord, you can now kind of you can go to the cigar lounge, throw out some ideas, and people will upvote or downvote your idea. And if it gets enough upvotes, then it gets passed as essentially like a vote. So they'll pass the votes with the most upvotes, essentially just like how a DAO operates. So if you're in there, throw out some ideas. Let's get some new plans underway.
Shout out to Carlini one time. Yo, we hit 100 messages. Let's go. That's been every stream ever, so that's cool. I small victories. Don't despise humble beginnings. Thank you for that, Walshy. Thank you for getting me on Penelope's.
Thank you very much, JP. It's a pleasure getting to ask you some questions and getting to learn a little bit more about influence, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and really nice meeting you. Hopefully we can have more talks like this in the future.
For sure.
DeadStock, you got the floor, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, same JP. Just appreciate spending time with you. Always fun. Obviously in the dojo too. Fast food for Denza life. You know, you and me, brother, forever. Trust me, when we're both gonna make it. We'll have the art in our rooms. I don't usually shill anything, but what I will say is, you know, just always have conviction about whatever you're investing in. Do your research and really find out what you're going to do. A lot of times people want to kind of go half-assed into whatever they're getting into, whether it's NFTs or whether it's play to earn projects, whether it's tokens, whether it's whatever it is in life, you know. So just have conviction about it. And, you know, if there's anything that you should invest in, it's probably Hex. Because straight up that shit keeps going up. I can't tell you, just hit like 20 cents, but
Richard Hart,
18.
millionaire watch God.
Pulse chain. I don't usually, you know, shill too much, so that's.
But you're a believer in that. You've been saying that for a while.
I'm not a fucking believer. I'm fucking getting money from it. Like, it's beyond belief. It's like a knowing at this point. Like, it's like I don't have to believe in it. Like, I do have faith, and so not to make fun of it, but you know, it's just done well for me. And do your own research. And I love you guys.
You too, buddy. You too. Councilman, the NFT Shakespearean himself, Jeremy. You have the floor.
Thank you, Young. I think I'll keep it short and sweet, because I really like what we were talking about earlier, as far as like, if you are new to the space and you're looking to maybe invest in NFTs for the first time, and you want like potentially a safe bet, this isn't financial advice, but look for utility, NFTs with utility. You know what I mean? Like, invest in some like cheap parallel cards, go buy a couple asteroids, like that has utility in the future. And like, if you're making a long-term bet, it's a no-brainer, you know? So find utility. Utility has value. Utility means you could do something with it, and add that as a little box to your checklist. You know, is this NFT I'm going to buy? Does it have utility? If it doesn't, then like, make sure it's a really cool NFT that you identify with, and it's really pretty. You know what I mean? So yeah, find utility. That's what I got this week.
Isn't it weird? Full circle. We did Rizzle last week. We got JP here. It's just wonderful how this is coming together.
Totally.
It's meant to be. It's synchronicity. It's love. It's blockchain.
You know, I think I'll go with my shill first, and then some wisdom second. Obviously, if you're interested in play to earn, check out influence.th.io. We'll give you all the information that you need. Join the Discord. Chris and myself, the two core members, you know, that are leading the charge, are in there almost every day answering questions. So please don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't understand something, we will for sure. If not us, some of our loyal community members. So yeah, join. Early September is the next sale. Get prepared, learn influence now, so you don't feel that overwhelming sense of like, you know, what the fuck am I doing right as you're trying to buy. the NFTs. No one likes feeling that way. So the next thing would be wisdom. Something I've really been trying to learn and be okay with is, one, saying no. Be okay with saying no. If you commit to something, see it through to the end. And then I think the last bit of wisdom is be okay with saying, I don't know. In conversations that you don't understand something, if you give an answer that you just are going to try and use as filler, people are less likely to, teach you something. So if you want to learn,
I'm good now.
Grow, just remember to listen and be okay with saying, I don't know.
I love that.
I don't know. See that, guys? That's a humble
that.
giant you want to listen to, a great community
Which takes
leader.
us into Young Content, because it's all about staying content.
For sure. Guys, sorry I was muted. There is literally this raining cats and dogs, like literally, and it's storming, and I don't even want to you guys to hear the storm because it's like.
Can you guys hear Young? It looks like he's talking, but I can't hear him right now.
Dude,
No.
holy shit.
I'm just making fun of you. I'm just making fun of you.
Guys, I got to prepare for this crazy lasagna dinner with my giraffe. I got to cook it lasagna. It likes lasagna every Thursday. And I love you guys. Influence, I want to say, guys, links in the description of this video, so you can follow Influence, you can follow DeadStock, you can follow Walshy, you can follow Jeremy. That's all in the description. So tell your friends, rewatch it. Everything is right there, all that information. Influence has literally shows all the good signs of a long-term project that I can support. This is not paid. They don't pay me. I'm an investor. I love Influence. I think it's seeing the data, seeing the asteroids being sold, what they're doing, how they're innovating. They're content. We're not getting all the hype right now because they're working, they're building. It's not about the hype. It's about the build. So we look forward to having you back on the show, Influence, JP. I'm definitely gonna have you in September just to get ready for that big asteroid sale. Definitely want to cop me some. Hopefully, I can front run people with this new MetaMask update shit. And yeah, it's I really appreciate everyone's time, guys. If you want to stick around at 8 p.m., I'm going live with the Dead Fellas. They're a PFP project that I think is going to do really well. A husband and wife team out of Australia. It's going to be cool. Yeah, guys. Any final words? You guys said it.
Yeah, let's make sure we live the dream. Oh yeah, and thank you, JP. Live the dream, eat ice cream, and most importantly,
stay
content. Boys and girls.
Eat that.
Guys, mute your mic. We'll go to the outro, and I will talk post-show. Guys, take it easy. Thanks for 100 messages. Subscribe, and go have some lasagna on me. All right, later. Peace.
Bye.